The timing of the series right now couldn't be more ironic with what we see in the news as far as powerful men and women being in situations that are unclear sometimes to the public. So can you talk to me a bit about taking, when you were writing this, the friends tone, because support is so important, but it's such a fine line. And we see Jax even sort of having questions as we walk through this. So can you talk to me about how you shaped that, and for Emayatzy, Jax's feelings to Chanel throughout this process?
Mhm. Yeah, so the Chanel storyline was, peppered in, season one. And so it was a storyline that, I had thought that maybe it would be in season three. Like you'd see kind of a couple seasons of this, and then that would be the case. And then, it's like, we're in the writer's room and we're talking, and one of our writers, Tash Gray, was telling the story about, one of her family members. And I was like, we should move that up to be the end of season one and make it a personal story. So the writers and we had these conversations about all different types of abuse, and people had a various types of abuse that either a friend of theirs or themselves had experienced. And we just realized it's really is something that is sadly ubiquitous, within our community, within a lot of other communities as well. And so the timing is really accidental, because to me it was always timely. It was a story that needed to be told. And for this season, I think what's great is that because we're seeing a lot of this, through Jax's eyes, and she's dealing with not knowing this is your close friend, and how can you not know that all this stuff is going on. But I feel like that happens often. It happens with abuse, it happens with mental health, people not knowing that, to check on your strong friends, like people not knowing what's really going on. So I felt like it was important to talk about. And honestly, I'm just happy that there's a space now that people are really interested in giving the story room and listening to this, because I didn't know at the time when we were crafting the story. I couldn't have forecasted all the things that would happen in the news. So
Yeah, and it's like you said, Ramla, checking on your strong friends or what have you. I think that I am thankful that we were able to play out the storyline between Jax and Chanel in a way where we got to see them in the first season. The relationship is close, but it consisted of a lot of jabs between the two of them because of their history. And so then we fast forward to this season, and we get to see that things are much deeper, much heavier than they would have known, and especially for Jackson, we get to see her have to deal with the results of that. And I like that we get to see that, because just like Ramla was saying, you don't know. There have been times when you don't know whether someone is going through a domestic violence issue or a mental health issue, and you wonder, wow, why didn't I see that? So I do think that it's provided us with a great opportunity to have a lot of conversations, for people to have conversations with their families and friends, and conversations that it might not have had before.